this seminar series, I try to have it twice a year, hopefully bringing valuable knowledge to our audience. My name is Ming. My business name is YC Associates. We're doing business services and taxation. It's our main business activity. Every time we have, I will bring in different speakers from different backgrounds, but all related to finance. So I probably will be more focused on accounting and taxation. For other speakers will be different background and professional. So tonight, my topic is mainly focused in budget. And the budget released for 2017 it's a big deal this year. Many things has been updated. I will just briefly do whatever I think is interesting from my point of view, and I'll leave the special sectors to the next several speakers to talk about. So, according to what governments say, according to what they say, the global economic outlook is going up. So if you see the slides, we are probably here, and their forecast is better and picking up in the future. And that is what I found on their report. So the underlying cash balance is negative, still keep negative until 2020. But 2021 will be positive, and you can see the trend. You can see the trend here. Probably the turning point is about right now. So that is still a prediction and estimate. We don't really know we don't have really a solid data to rely on, as we understand the economics is going the way that nobody can control and really forecast, and I doubt it. But then, of course, Australian government want to catch the picking up of the economy, and they also don't want it to fall in other people's pocket, but hopefully they can enjoy the benefit by Australia. So a lot of budget points are related to this kind of trend or principle. Some of the points that I think is very interesting is some potential opportunities for investors. So what I see is infrastructure's upgrade. They mentioned about Sydney's airport, some railways in region and highways, and new energy infrastructures will be the next several main projects. This will result in red zone, population spreading out, and for some developers and construction sectors, it will be a good opportunity. And there is a new scheme called affordable housing. Related to that, there were a lot of new policies released. This 10K to CBD is for Melbourne. Of course, for Sydney, for Queensland, there are other policies. I think Young, our quantity surveyor, is going to talk about more. But if you are interested what can be related for the new releasing land, especially from government departments, just Google it, affordable housing releasing land, and there will be, something like that. Okay. Here is the Herald Sun. Melbourne and Sydney under plan by the Turnbull government. You can search for a lot of new sites being released, previously held by the government. So there is one for Melbourne. So maybe you're interested. If anybody's interested, just talk to Emma, where's Emma? Okay, just talk to Emma to get these slides and all the supporting document that I can send to you. I've downloaded all, and you can have a look at what can be relevant to you. You probably want to invest somewhere that has big potential. So by the numbers, there are 127 packages, 10K from the CBD, 3,000 homes, new homes, and 30 grand residents. So that's a trend. Hopefully, you guys can catch some opportunity there. So back to the slides. Of course, there are a lot of new policies about restricted foreign property investors, and not only from Australian side, but also from overseas countries. For my background from China, what I know is the current policies on translating the money, and it has been very strict. I can't really withdraw more than, I think, 100,000 yuan from one card in 1 year. That's going to limit my accessibility to some of my money in China, same as other investors. They have a lot of limit, not only the cash withdrawal, but also finance. I think our next speaker is going to talk about something. But then there is only one, but I pick it up, one beneficial policies for foreign investors, maybe for you guys can talk to your related foreign investors potentially. Because of the affordable housing scheme, Australian government saying that, okay, there's one policy we can still be kind of relaxed on foreign investors is 15% for the capital gain on affordable housing is the final tax. So it's heavy discount for foreign property investors in this sense. I don't see many other policies are very positive, but this one is an exceptional good thing. So you might want to think about it, and if you want to know more about it, talk to me later. There's a major bank levy. I don't know if the next speaker is going to cover that, but for the big four banks, there are a lot of new, really strict policies charged on them in the next few years, and there's levy charged on them too. Of course, it's good for the consumers because we are not, as before, being kept in the black and sometimes not very supportive from the big four banks. But also it's an expense for the bank. Sometimes you can think about as a shareholder of the banks, if you have major shares, a lot of money invested in them, I can predict the dividends from the big four companies is going to be reduced because of this levy. But for consumers, maybe it's a good thing for helping them be more supportive on the finance side. So next is for small business. We all know that for small business, the taxation in Australia always has been given a lot of benefit and discount and tax offset. So there's 20,000 instant asset write-off. Of course, there's qualification or eligibility behind that. If I click that, so you are eligible if you have a turnover less than 10 mil. That has been increased from 2 mil. That's a lot. That's a lot of businesses will be eligible this year than before. And the asset was first used and installed ready for use in the 2017 income year, which is coming in 5 days. So if you guys have turnover just less than 10 mil, maybe that's a good thing to catch up, to have it write off. I'll tell you why it is better to write off now. Not only to catching up with the instant write-off, but also the company's income tax rate is going to decrease every year in the next few years. So the rationale behind is you push the net profit or taxable income to the later years to enjoy less tax to pay. So you want to bring in a lot of expense this year. Same as other items in your profit and loss. Maybe you want to realize the sales or taxable income in later years rather than now, and you want to bring a lot of purchase and expense now rather than later. You can achieve this by different ways. If your customer pay you before you want to invoice them, that's fine. We can call it prepayment. So it's kind of manipulatable for the date on the invoice and purchase order as well. So you can tell your supplier if they don't have any problem to discuss with a proper date put on the bill, and you probably can enjoy a lot of tax cut. Simplified GST report on BAS. Don't need to report G11 and G10 anymore for the small business. So G10 is capital purchase and G11 is non-capital purchase. You don't have to report those figures anymore for small businesses, only the GST on purchase itself. But again, of course, when the tax office come back and audit you, you need to have supporting documents. So it's kind of for me, it doesn't look very different. Business with a turnover of less than 50 mil will receive tax offset up to $1,000. That's better than nothing. It's not very exciting, but better than nothing. So there will be a definition changing on the small business eligibility. Is what is qualified as small business. So 5 mil increased, and then next is 10 mil. So there will be more and more entities being eligible for small business concession. Not only the company, but also like sole trader, partnership, trust, or whatever the business is under. For that thought, you want to be eligible. So just for example, if you're eligible this year, for example, 5 million. If you only have $1,000 more to lose that eligibility, that's going to be a little bit disappointing. So if you are close enough, try to bring yourself back to the small business group. Alright, now we'll talk about individual tax. I don't see much difference, big deal, but they have increased the Medicare levy again. So people always ask me what is Medicare levy and what's the difference between the Medicare levy and tax. From our taxpayers' point of view, there's no difference. We just pay them in different name. Tax, Medicare levy, whatever the government say, we want to use the levy for Medicare only, but for us, it's tax away. So basically, if you can see on the right side, that is, if you earn, for example, $25,000, you will pay $125 more. If you earn $175,000 income, taxable income, you pay $875 more tax. I call it tax. It doesn't make any difference for me from my point of view. It's money being taken by the government. So it starts from the July 2019. Decrease the capital gain by 60% rather than 50% for affordable housing. This is a new thing, may affect the property market. So it's a part of the affordable housing scheme. For the eligibility, again, the investors need to have 10 years of an investment property falling in this group. So provide this property ready for rent for the low income earners to be able to still have housing. But it's not so attractive because it has to be 10 years. However, there is reminder from the Treasury that you need to consider there is a big group of investors, such as investment fund. So if the property has been held under the investment fund for more than 10 years, as the investor behind the screen, as an individual or a company to put in the money for this kind of investment fund, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to have a property directly for 10 years. You'll still be eligible for those discounted capital gain. So it may be a good thing. For the people who are excited about investing in management fund, this can be a good opportunity to reduce your capital gain tax. Super savings scheme, 15% discount on top of 15% credit, 30% together. I think Yang is going to talk about it more. It's helping the people to get first home deposit in a quicker way. Normally, super contribution will be taxed on 15%. They can accelerate this pot of saving by salary sacrifice, so that they have more deposit in the super fund. But when they withdraw, not only the 15% being taxed as tax credit, but they also have extra 15% tax offset. So that is what government think is good for the first home buyers, this kind of support. But bear in mind where your super going and how many years you're going to save it enough. If 1 year, 2 years enough or not, I don't know. And nobody can predict the share market's trend. Even for contributing more for the first home buyers, maybe you want to review your investment structure. If you want to really preserve that part of the money, maybe you want to think about some more conservative way, say maybe term deposit in the structure, not so aggressive, because you are going to withdraw in 2 years or 3. Individual income tax rental properties. Okay, it's not very nice news for 2 points. One is travel expense is not going to be deductible for some categories. Start from 5 days later. And depreciation. Yang is going to talk about it. But the important day is the budget day, 9th of May, the budget day. So if the legislation is being drafted, here you go. So from the 1st of July 2017, the government will limit plumbing equipment depreciation deductions to outlays actually incurred by the investors. So previously, if you buy a rental property, you do a quantity service report, you can have the existing furniture and equipment being depreciated extra on the top of the purchase. But now, from the day 9th of May, not the 1st of July, which has just passed, if you buy things, you can get depreciated, but if you get from the seller, it cannot be qualified anymore, because they think it's a double tax benefit. The purchase is already in the purchase price. But our accounting never treated double way. We always increase the cost base or reduce the cost base to get it adjusted. So this is a limit, not very good for the investors, but since it's 9th of May, whatever happened before, you can still claim it. If you haven't, for the ones that settled or purchased after the 9th of May, it's not anymore. So in the highlight, that's 7:30 p.m. on 9th of May. So anything already entered before that day, any contract will continue to give rise to deductions to depreciation. I can see it's getting tightened. So if you don't have a quantity service report, have one now. You can still catch the last bit of the tail. but I don't know in the future what's going to change. So if you have that depreciation claim this year because of the property you purchased before 9th of May, you'll be safe. You will still be able to claim it carry forward. If you miss out, maybe you miss out forever. Okay. Company tax rate, as I mentioned. Okay. Company tax rate is reducing for the eligible small size of the company. And if people can see, that's the turnover in the middle. So that's why I'm asking you to push your taxable income in the future years. 1% probably means something for you. Trying to be qualified under the threshold, not to miss out the opportunity just because of several thousands of dollars. Try to see your accrual-based accounting, what can it give to you as an edge. If you want to explore more, come and talk to me after the seminar. So next is franking credit. Since the company's tax rate is changing, the franking credit is not calculated as 30% as so simple as before. So there is eligibility if your this year's profit is distributed as dividend, and that tax is going to be your this year's tax rate on the company. If you distribute more, and it's kind of the rationale behind is you distribute the previous retained profit, so it can be 30% back again. GST, purchaser of newly constructed residential properties for new subdivisions to remit GST. That's a big deal. This is a big deal. So previously, if it is residential properties, if you buy it as a buyer, you don't pay GST. GST is 10%. So if you pay GST on the price from for the new constructions, that means you will need to finance more. You need to bring more deposit on the table. The excuse from tax office is that, okay, for the construction business, they claim GST, but they don't remit GST on the sale. So that is what it comes up with. They're going to be reducing a lot of property buyers because they don't have enough money or the funding is limited. So I can see the trend from there. Double taxation of digital currency removed. If you are using Bitcoin, you probably know about it. Bitcoin used to be classified as intellectual property. So it's an intellectual property. If you buy it, if you sell it, it's a property. There's GST implication on that. But now the government kind of in a sideways say, okay, it's not related to GST anymore. Maybe in the future we'll start to use electronic currency because it's supportive from the taxation office. Superannuation. Suren, as our fourth speaker, is going to talk about more, but there are so many changes in this area. I don't know, next slides, okay. I only listed several of them now on the slides. It's not exhausted. It's very intense, professionalized area. If you have any concern, you need to talk to your superannuation financial planner. Next slides. Okay. So hopefully can bring up something. Why doesn't show? Okay. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Peter Spitzer. As of 1 July 2017, superannuation in Australia is changing. It's important to work out if you may be affected by these changes or if they might impact you in the future. To help you prepare, we developed 3 easy steps for you to take before the changes take place. Firstly, you need to establish if you will be affected. You may be affected if you're currently making extra super contributions, if you earn close to or over $250,000, or you're approaching retirement or are retired. If you've taken time out of the workforce, work part-time, or you or your spouse earn less than $40,000, you may also be impacted. The best place to start is to visit the ATO website for more information on whether you may be affected. Next step is to get the right information and advice. You may need to speak with your financial advisor or tax agent to work out if you are affected and what action you need to take. You can also speak with your super funds to receive information on your balance and identify if these changes affect you. You'll need to act on information you've collated if you are affected. For some, you may need to transfer your assets back into accumulation phase if you're at risk of exceeding the transfer balance cap on 1 July. If you're looking to top up your fund prior to the changes, make sure you factor in funds transfer and bank processing times, as your balance must be updated and processed before 30 June 2017. And for others, there will be no immediate actions if you have not started or do not plan to start any retirement income before 1 July. However, if you plan to start after 1 July, you will need to check out how the transfer balance cap will affect you. No matter your personal circumstances, the more you learn about the changes, the better place you'll be. What happens if you don't follow these steps? It depends on your individual circumstances. For example, there will be a limit on how much super you can transfer into your tax-free pension account after 1 July. If you exceed your cap, you may have to remove the excess and pay tax on the notional earnings on that excess. Don't let that happen to you. 1 July is a really important milestone, but the time to start preparing is now. Identify if you will be affected, seek out the right information, act on the advice provided. Visit ato.gov.au/superchanges now to get the ball rolling.
Right. I don't really think you should check ATO's website because it's not an area that everybody's interested to know or anything exciting. Just come and talk to me and we will sort it out together if you have any concern. There's only one thing I want to add on top of that is here you go. There's a special downsize cap. I think Suren and Yang will talk about it, but I just want to bring it up as a very important new legislation. So for the retired people, they want to enjoy their retirement tax-free income to support their lifestyle. So this is a new thing, and it is big because before the retiree have limit how much they can put back into their super fund, which is tax-free, and then tax-free on the withdrawal. But now because of this, the legislation will be that if they sell their home, they can contribute $300,000 for the sale of their home. I do not know, check this for me later on. I do not know after this, after they sell their home, can they buy another one? So that is what you probably want to consider. You can buy another one as a retiree, sell it, put into a silver. You have a lot of tax saving for this. So this is the paper I printed out from taxation office. Talk to Emma if you want a copy of it, and we will send it to you. All right, my part is finished. So next we are welcoming Min to talk about finance.